Hey all, and welcome to Shadow Space, and we're commenting on another BCB video. This one is titled Liberal City Residents in Tears After Voting for Socialist Mayor Backfires in Worst Way Possible. This is uploaded May 30th. This is being recorded May 31st, and link is in the description.
In North Seattle, they're barricading their own streets after bullets tear.
Oh my.
Terrified neighbors in North Seattle are barricading their own streets after bullets tear through homes. The desperate move is meant to stop the gunfire from reaching their doorsteps. Good evening, I'm Preston Phillips.
And I'm Kelly Koopmans. People who live along Aurora Avenue say they are done waiting for the city to take action. Their solution is to set up planter boxes, keeping armed criminals from racing through the neighborhood. KILBL's Joel Moreno is live in Seattle, where these barriers are raising other safety concerns. Joel?
Kelly and Preston, these metal containers you see right here behind me, they might be able to block access to people with guns who are fighting turf wars tied to human trafficking, but they can also potentially delay fire engines and ambulances whose crews are racing.
So people are still slaves. Okay, I was concerned that they weren't for a while.
Emergency.
Dozens of bullets ripped through this North Seattle neighborhood along Aurora Avenue, striking homes and sometimes blasting into bedrooms where children sleep.
I mean, we live right in the smack of everything, so we've had our house hit with bullets, and the neighbor behind us went through their window, actually.
It's a similar experience for other neighbors as turf wars erupt between armed groups involved in prostitution and other crimes along this troubled North Seattle corridor.
I think most nights can be a little bit scary.
This
when it gets
troubled
late,
North Seattle corridor.
It's been like a lot of gunshots.
Now people living along side streets, including North 97th, are dragging in planter boxes, soil, and other barriers to stop gunmen from racing through their neighborhood.
I feel like if it's helped in other areas, it could definitely help here.
Previously, city officials ordered these concrete barriers to be set up at the end of North 101st Street. The goal was to stop shooters from using neighborhood streets as escape routes during...
Boy. So we got to talk about a pretty hilarious story out of Seattle. Now, I guess the story is not real.
If this isn't the story that should convince people to leave, I don't know what is.
It's funny because, people's lives are in danger, right? But I think it's hilarious because you have liberals getting exactly what they voted for, right? They voted for a socialist mayor, and now they're shocked, Pikachu face, right? That crime is out of control. Like, how many times do we have to go through this? How many times?
How many people have to be killed by this violence before they actually do something about it?
Why?
How many people do you think it's going to take?
Have to actually get burnt in order to believe that fire burns. I don't understand it. Okay, I really don't. But here we are. Okay,
here we are.
Crime is out of control in Seattle, and the mayor is getting a whole lot of backlash because of a number of policies that she has enacted to undermine policing. Okay, because she is a far left socialist, she is getting pressure from the left to be softer on crime, right? That involves disease.
What I say, I don't even know why you bother. If you're a police officer that lives in Seattle, I don't know why you bother. I don't know why you don't ask to get transferred to another state, somewhere else. I don't know why you bother. I don't know why you bother to stay. I honestly don't.
TV camera controversy. I covered this story.
I understand moving can be difficult. I understand that it's not easy to just pick up everything and leave. But like, when you already aren't doing anything, and you know that this is what's happening, I don't know why you would stay.
Is getting rid of the surveillance cameras because they catch black people committing crimes, and because they catch black people committing crimes, that is.
Because then I also do say that you should stay there and try to, and not just let them take it. So then what is the solution? You would almost just...
Racist, right? And because it is racist, that is why you have these far left cultural Marxists demanding that the mayor get rid of the camera. And because she's also a Marxist, she's doing it, right? She's getting rid of the CCTV cameras, right? She's basically not expanding them.
No, she's not doing it because of ICE involvement. She's not doing it because she's worried that ICE will use it to identify license plates and vehicles of undocumented migrants so that they can detain them and deport them. That is the reason that she is getting rid of it. That is the reason that she is shutting it down, because she doesn't want ICE to get access to the technology.
And turning them off. And that's a huge issue, right? You have homelessness is out of control. Okay. Huge problem. You also have violence happening on one street in particular that we're going to talk about here. And also she's clashing with the police union.
Now at 6, the president of the Seattle Police Officers Guild accuses the office of Mayor Katie Wilson of trying to violate the union's right to free speech. Good evening, I'm Preston Phillips.
And I'm Kelly Koopmans. The mayor's office told union leaders to delete a recent social media post that criticized Wilson after a recent triple shooting on Capitol Hill. Jeremy Harris is live with a story you will only see on Como. Jeremy?
Yeah, the Seattle Police Officers Guild has been critical of city leadership for years. Their social media feed is full of that. But one recent post really touched a nerve at the mayor's office, and it now has the police union saying they've been accused of violating the law and police policy. But today their leader says they're not backing down. This was the post from the Seattle Police Officers Guild on May 18th. It featured a video of 3 people being shot outside a busy nightclub with the caption, "Mayor Katie, how many more examples do you need? Don't take away."
Let them do it. What's the problem? She wants this to happen.
The vital tools officers rely on to identify, locate, and apprehend violent criminals in our city, in reference to surveillance cameras that feed into the city's real-time crime center. The next morning, this email was sent by the mayor's staff to SPOG President Kent Lewis.
Good morning, Kent. Attorney-client privileged. Good morning, Kent. SPOG's social media post on X at 5:02 last evening appears to violate subsections 3 and 4 of section 12.00100 POL 4 of the SPD policy manual. Use of the RTCC will be for legitimate law enforcement purposes only, and SMC 1412020B, no recorded information shall be used for political reasons. Please pull the post immediately.
Saying the post, quote, appears to violate SPD policy regarding real-time crime center cameras and Seattle Municipal Code that bars recorded information from being used for political purposes, with the instruction, please pull the post immediately. When this line here says, please pull the post immediately, how did you interpret that?
Oh, that's an order. I looked at the content of the email. I thought, well, that sounds like a threat.
But SPOG President Kent Lewis says the mayor's office was wrong about where the video came from.
The video was publicly sourced from Como 4, from a post I think you made yourself. And we were very clear up front of where we sourced this video from, again, providing them the public link so they could view it themselves. And in no way do I feel like I'm being unprofessional by alerting the public.
You turned the cameras off. How could they get the footage from the cameras if you turned them off?
To a publicly sourced video, pointing to the fact that these work and these capture good data for us.
Wilson has paused the expansion of city-owned surveillance cameras, a decision that has drawn her a lot of criticism from people who say these cameras are an essential tool to investigate crimes in a city with a police staffing crisis.
Yeah. So I want you guys to understand, no surprises here in regards to how this socialist experiment in Seattle's working out, right? No surprises, okay?
But then you tie the police's hands behind their back and you say that they're engaging in illegal activity. I honestly don't know why you bother. I really don't.
She knows that the police have a staffing crisis, right? They can't recruit people to be police officers. Nobody wants to be
but she doesn't want police. So I don't know why it would even be an issue.
Police officer anymore. Okay, especially in these liberal cities, okay, for obvious reasons, right? Because of stories like this. So you would think that just common sense, okay, listen. Since we don't have a lot of police, maybe we should keep the cameras on, right? Maybe we should expand surveillance because that will help our officers, right? The small number of officers that we have, right? The limited number of officers.
Yeah, but then they'll be able to find the undocumented migrants easier. And you have to protect them.
That we have, it would help them work more efficiently to solve crime, right? You would think that, a smart person would want to expand this as much as possible in order to help with the fact that you have limited resources, right? Limited a number of officers. Now, that is what somebody would do if they actually, had common sense. Okay, they actually wanted to stop crime, right?
Yeah, that's really it, is if they actually wanted to solve the problem, they would keep it on.
But again, when you're a socialist, you don't have common sense. You don't want to stop crime, right?
No. Well,
crime is...
You don't even know what crime is. Theft isn't crime. Murder isn't crime.
A feature, right? Not a bug of socialism, right? They want as much chaos and anarchy as possible. That is how you usher in communism, right? The Marxist agenda involves as much chaos as possible. Okay, this is why this is why I call them agents of chaos, because that is their goal.
That's what they are.
They literally are just here to cause chaos, right?
Yep.
That's how they usher in their communist Marxist utopia. Okay, that's what this is all about at this point. The Democrat Party has been taken over by Marxists. People have to understand what we're dealing with here. We have to call them what they are. Okay, we have to identify what this is. This is communism. This is communism in America. That's what's happening. And it's open, it's blatant, it's in your face. They try to gaslight us, and they try to make it feel better by calling it democratic, right? That's the hilarious part about it. They try to make it feel good by calling it democratic. There's nothing democratic about this, okay? So the residents of Seattle are finding this out the hard way, right? And it seems as if they're regretting their vote because their neighborhood continues to get shot up on a nightly basis, okay? And the police, of course, aren't responding as fast as they should, despite the fact that this happens on a nightly basis because they're strapped for resources. And the mayor is making it as hard as possible for them to do their job. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this.
We begin with neighbors on edge after they've witnessed four
So the mayor wants this. So what's the problem?
shootings in 72 hours. Neighbors living near 97th and Aurora say they've all happened in just this one city block. The latest shooting was caught on camera early this morning with around 20 or more shots fired. Fox 13's Jennifer Dowling joining me live from Seattle Police's North Precinct. Jennifer, what can you tell us?
Samira, we just reported on a rash of shootings yesterday in this very same block of Aurora. And here we are again today reporting on another frightening shooting. Neighbors say something has to be done by the city to stop the violence. Neighbors say this shootout early this morning, caught by security cameras at a local business, shows how dangerous the situation has become near 97th and Aurora. In it, you can see men gathered in an alley between George's transmission shop and another building. They duck to take cover as shots ring out. Some return fire with gun muzzles flashing.
Now I don't feel safe no more, and it's sad. We shouldn't have to live like this.
Ava Wilson lives nearby.
You don't have to live like this. So the question is, why do you vote?
I mean, you do, you know.
Vote for this, right? Why do you vote for this if you don't want to live like this? That's the question. That's the question. They'll get on camera and they'll cry.
Because they can't vote for anyone who isn't a Democrat. The only thing that comes to mind are Stephen A's words that, you know, just for one election, just don't vote for people with a D next to their name.
You know, they'll share
just try it.
And then, you know, the next election comes around, they'll vote for a more further left lunatic. And then they'll shock Pikachu face, right? Shock. Look at this. Pikachu face. That crime is out of control, right? Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I want to feel bad, but it's hard for me to feel bad because you keep voting for it. You keep voting for it. And, people like me every single day, I try to warn people. I use my voice. I speak out. I say, look, man, this is what's going to happen to your city. This is what's going to happen to your town.
What happens? You get called a sellout. You get called an Uncle Tom.
This is what's going to happen if you vote for these lunatics, right? And I give you concrete examples every single day. Every single day, right? Real news stories. Every day.
All the time.
No days off.
No.
Because I don't want to see this, right? I don't want to cover these stories, okay? I in the ideal world, I wouldn't have stories like this to cover, right? Okay,
well,
but
in the reality that Democrats think that they want to live in, they wouldn't have crime either, and yet this is what they get.
Unfortunately.
This is Seattle. This is a Democrat city.
Because we don't live in an ideal world. We live in a society.
I don't know.
That unfortunately has devolved into what we're saying here. Okay. It is what it is. It's a reality. It's a reality. That, again, you don't have to live like this. But as long as you continue to vote the way that you vote, I mean, it is what it is. You're going to have to deal with it, right? That is the consequence of your actions.
As long as you continue to choose to live that way, you will continue to live that way. It's choosing something else.
Like Ava Wilson lives nearby with her 5-year-old son, Tyrese.
Gunshots.
Wilson says people in her building took cover.
Oh, he had a big smile on his face, at least.
Not just mine.
It was pretty noisy, and we live about 3-4 blocks away.
Block Captain Peter Orr woke up to the gunfire. Neighbor Jake also heard it while feeding his baby.
And it's terrifying.
Jake's security camera picked up the audio. This latest shooting happening just a day after we interviewed him about a bullet nearly hitting his baby's window during an ambush-style shooting near his house this weekend.
Even less than 24 hours.
How many shots was that?
House this weekend.
Even less
18?
than 24 hours since you guys were here investigating
going through it.
The shooting that hit my house. We've actually experienced 2 additional shootings on our same block.
I asked Mayor Katie Wilson's office if the city might increase patrols or do something else to curtail violence, and got this response by email. You'll need to contact SPD for questions about their staffing levels. Mayor Katie Wilson's administration continues to work with SPD to hire additional officers and provide community-based solutions to address gun violence.
I've seen more authentic responses generated by AI. It's pretty lackluster.
Honestly, how do you know that response wasn't generated by AI?
And tone deaf.
The first thing I see is the mayor's office passing the buck. The first thing they say is, you'll need to contact SPD for questions. What we're experiencing is escalating.
Contact the people that we've already tied their hands so they can't do anything about it. Tell them to do something about it so that they can tell you that they can't do anything about it.
That they don't see urgency, they don't see an emergency, and I've got the bullets.
The emergency is all of these trans refugees that they have to dip into the reserves in order to get this emergency funding for.
House to prove it.
Yay! Aren't you happy? You should be happy about this.
I reached out to SPD about whether they might step up patrols there and got this response. As we continue to get additional new officers, we always send them to precincts to begin their career. So there's a high likelihood that the North Precinct will continue to see an influx of officers as hiring continues. They said they couldn't talk about specific staffing numbers on Aurora due to safety concerns. They also said that shooting over the weekend was being investigated. That is active and ongoing. Meantime, we also asked today about that shooting this morning, and we are waiting for an update on that. Reporting live in Seattle, Jennifer.
Yeah. You seen that? You heard that?
Yeah.
In order to red pill the leftists, you just got to give them what they want. Give them what they voted for. This is what you wanted? Great. You can have it. You can have it.
Yeah.
And almost every single time, the tears come out when they get exactly what they voted for. I mean, honestly, I don't get it. I really don't. I mean, these liberal cities, more so than anything, like these liberal cities, the sad part about it, could be great cities with Republican leadership. And that's because you have people running the city who actually understand what it takes to create a business-friendly environment, which is the opposite of what they're doing out in Seattle and in New York.
Well, if you have gangs that control the street, you don't control the street. They do. It's really that simple.
So it's no surprise that you have all these people leaving, businesses leaving, entrepreneurs leaving, jobs leaving, companies leaving. Who wants to live in these places?
Wants to live in a gang-controlled, crime-ridden shithole?
Who wants to? Nobody. Who wants
Clearly,
to live like
the
that?
mayor of Seattle wants to live in this.
Nobody wants to live like that. You don't have to live like that. You don't have to. It is a choice. And these people have made a choice. They made a choice to live in a slum. They made a choice to live in a hellhole.
Yep.
And because they made this choice, it's hard for me to feel bad. I'm just telling people, they're not going to stop voting for this. It's only going to get worse. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like.
Well, they say all the time, you know, if a Republican were to have some sort of natural disaster, well, I wouldn't help them. Okay, well, why should police, which according to you is a right-wing institution, help you with this? Help yourselves. Maybe you should get snipers on rooftops so that if they see these people, then they can kill them and take their streets back from these people. Somehow I doubt they're going to do that. So until then, the gangs are going to control the streets, and you're just going to have to deal with potentially being collateral damage in their turf wars. Sorry.